Infrastructure modernization will be part of this journey. So we'll be shifting away from traditional investments in physical infrastructure and moving this to the cloud, as this helps in terms of reducing costs and also improving system resilience. As I conclude, I wish to congratulate the AWS team for this remarkable investment and thank Your Excellency, the President, for focusing on the digital transformation of our economy. Asante sana.
Sir, thanks for sharing your exciting story with all of us. Next, please allow me to introduce the Director of Information Technology at Safaricom. Please come on stage to share your journey. Thank you.
Good morning. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, Governor of Nairobi, Honorable Johnson Sakaja, the U.S. Ambassador, Mwai Quitman, PS Ministry of ICT, Engineer John Tanui, PS Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Abubakar Hassan, AWS leadership, CEOs, captains in industry, all other protocols observed. I think, Mike, I should have remembered to say what you taught me in Mombasa. I'm riding on other protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great day. I was quite excited when I walked in and to the floor down there. And I actually thought I walked into a Safaricom building. Your Excellency, about 70% of the team there once worked in Safaricom. And even those who did not work, like I can see someone laughing back there, they were associated with Safaricom. And so we're happy that we believe we are a hotbed of talent, not just for local companies, but also for international companies. I think over the years, when this journey started, Robin and I were reminiscing. We were called for a Captains of Industry roundtable at Kempinski in 2019. And Michael Joseph couldn't attend, and he asked me to attend. I didn't quite know what was going on. It was quite rushed. And we started discussing that AWS was interested in coming to Kenya. And they wanted commitment from the industry that we would. I guess being new to my job, I said, let me take this up. Today, we run over 60 applications on AWS, including my Safaricom app, our Zuri chatbot, my county app, and many others. We have over 600 servers running there. We'll soon be launching our new artificial intelligence and machine learning platform running on AWS that was designed in this very building. One of the first customers who came here to collaborate. We've run joint hackathons. And when I see and get sometimes notes from some of our team members who've gone to work in the UK, in Germany, in Ireland, they always say that opportunity they got has made a very big difference for them. For some of them, they had never boarded a plane, let alone gotten a visa to go to foreign countries. We do this like the young lady you saw here, going round to universities, not just training our staff. Although we have over 750 engineers in my team who are certified and accredited in AWS. But now we've extended this partnership to universities. If I was not here today, I would be in Laikipia University with my team. And jointly we work, we run hackathons, we identify top talent. But more so, we look at how to address real Kenyan problems using world-class technology. And so I'm quite excited because, Robin, there were two requests we had. One was to have the development center, and there's another one that we want the local presence here. And Safaricom is more than willing to offer you a premise, but also to assist in connectivity. It's great to see our customers who we connect to Ireland, but we believe that we have come of age, we have proven ourselves, we've invested on our part, and it's time to bring a local presence in Kenya. Ama mnasemaje? So I trust when you make a request, or somewhere where I heard, when the father of the nation or our father is in the building, it's when you place your requests. So thanks for meeting this one. The next one needs to come. At Safaricom, we're a purpose-led technology company, and this new journey of ours, It's about transforming from a telco with a great fintech, indeed, that represents the greatness of Kenya's innovation, transforming to become a technology company. AWS is one of the partners we identified that will help us in that journey. When we see the leaps and bounds we've made on new technologies like microservices and container, serverless, that we run our big data, we could not have done it with such great partners. Taking Kenya to the next level will require partners to put their investment, not just look for us to invest on their platforms, but put their investment in Kenya, in training young people, in building facilities, in ensuring that all the way to the grassroots. People may not have certain basics, but with technology companies in the world, they not only transform their lives, they transform their families and communities. So asanteni sana, we're ready to do more. God bless.
Thank you, sir, for being a part of the ecosystem, being a talent hub for not just for AWS, but for all of Kenya. Thank you. Your Excellency, please allow me to reiterate once again AWS's commitment to Kenya. We all know how passionate you are in leveraging technology to drive change in Kenya. It takes me back to the ancient saying in Sanskrit language, Yad bhavam tad bhavati, which basically means when you passionately pursue something, it will always manifest. I can't wait for my next visit to Kenya to see how it continues to grow from strength to strength. Thank you.
Next, Your Excellency, allow me to now invite Her Excellency, the Ambassador US to Kenya, Her Excellency Meg Whitman. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali.
Well, good morning, Mr. President. All protocols observed. I am so delighted to be here this morning. This has been a long time coming. Well, a long time in technology time. And it is a really important event for Silicon Savannah. Silicon Savannah, Silicon Valley, all the tech hubs of the world, they are not places, they are state of mind. They are those connections that are made every day over coffee, in the park, the minds coming together to innovate. And I think AWS and Amazon is a crucial part of Silicon Savannah's growth and development. For those of you who don't know, I grew up with Amazon. I remember when I became the CEO of eBay, we looked up one day and said, if we could ever be like Amazon, that would be amazing. And I want to tell you, Amazon is one of the most important technology companies in Silicon Valley. It's one of the most important technology companies in the world. And the fact that they have chosen to put the development center for AWS in Nairobi speaks volumes about Kenya, speaks volumes about Nairobi, and speaks volumes about this administration. So congratulations to all of you. I want to tell you a little bit about innovation. There is two kinds of innovation in the world. There's what I call evolutionary innovation, which is people who every day make what already exists a little bit better, new and improved, a little bit better food, a little bit better consumer goods, a little bit better maps, a little bit better on everything that you do. Those people are very, very important because unless we keep getting better at the basics, we fall behind. But there is a very small number of people and companies who do what I call disruptive innovation. That's different than evolutionary innovation. Disruptive innovation are the people who build things that never existed before. Think about the airplane, the train, the car, the early development of the IBM 3600 that began to power the technology age. If you think about the PC, you think about all these big changes in technology. Often there is a small people who figure out how to do something that has never been done before. Amazon is one of the few companies that have figured out two things that were completely disruptive innovation. One was e-commerce. Amazon was the pioneer of e-commerce on the internet. And then the second thing that Amazon did was AWS. Before AWS, you had to build your own data center. You had to set up your own data center. You had to buy your own servers and storage and networking. Today, you just tap into AWS and other cloud service providers, and you're up and running. Let me tell you the difference this would have made at eBay. I joined eBay in 1998. We had to build our own data center. We had to figure out how to do that. And by the way, that took 9 months to do. And by the way, we had some challenges doing it along the way. I remember going into the data center one day, and there were fans cooling the servers. Oops, big problem. In any case, today, if I was starting eBay, we would have tapped into AWS, and we'd be up and running in 2 days. 9 months to 2 days. And that is what is so important here, is that AWS is an enabler of big companies, as you heard this morning. But more importantly, in many ways, they are an enabler of small tech companies, because you no longer have to have a lot of capital to start your own company. You have, in fact, don't really need any capital at all. You can just tap into a cloud service provider and you are up and running, ready to go. So I'm super excited about AWS being here. I think it will create a revolution among the small to medium-sized enterprises, which are those that always power the Silicon Valley or the Silicon Savannah. So congratulations. I am so pleased that you are here. Thank you to the President for continuing to create an enabling environment that allows companies like Amazon to come here. And we can't leave without saying, celebrate the engineers and the innovators. Thank you very much.
Allow me to now call Governor for Nairobi County, His Excellency Johnson Sakaja. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mike. Allow me to also associate myself with the protocol already established. Your Excellency, the President, and everybody here. Today, it's an amazing day. I'm really excited as your governor to welcome AWS to Nairobi. We're grateful that you have decided to open this center in our beautiful city, the heart of the Silicon Savannah. Amazon needs no introduction. It is not only the largest technology company in the world, but it's also a household name. I believe this new development center, which is the second in Africa, will play a major role in growing Kenya's digital sector and more so the city of Nairobi. During the last decade, cloud computing was more about storage and hosted software as a service. Today, we're in the evolution of cloud computing. Our startups and businesses, just as Ambassador Meg has said, need flexible solutions, not just for data storage, but also for computing needs. The AWS Compute provides businesses the opportunity to pay only for the resources that they require, and that's a real big plus for us. The availability of on-demand services beyond storage means that businesses can scale the technology used without incurring unnecessary overheads. The provision of these capabilities is a democratization of cloud technology, where this development center not only becomes relevant for big organizations, but also for small businesses, for whom digitization is becoming critical for their operations. According to the World Economic Forum, Your Excellency, 97 million new jobs will be created by 2025 because of cloud computing and digitization. In Nairobi, our cash crop, unlike Nyandarua, where the cash crop is Waru, where my deputy comes from, in Nairobi, my DG is here, Njoroge Mushiri. In Nairobi, our cash crop is our young people who are resilient, they're ready to learn new skills, they're amazing, and they have all that with them, And any investment towards them, for us is where our priority is. P.S. Tony will tell you, a few years ago, he invited us to take young people to Konza. And I remember a young boy, 6-year-old from Dandora, who had just interacted with the computer for the first time, defeated everybody in coding just after 3 days of being taught. That talent is there. What lies under the ground, above the ground in Nairobi really is our talent. We don't have oil, we don't have gold, we don't have diamonds. Our greatest asset is not below the ground, it is above the ground, and it is our people. The fact, thank you. So this development center, I pray, and I'm really happy. Your Excellency, I just walked across an office around here. This development center will be important in absorbing these highly skilled young people we have and bring part of these millions of jobs to our doorsteps. The fact that AWS will use this system to support major organizations such as Toyota, Netflix, Volkswagen, and the rest, together with handling some of its research and development for new products, cements Nairobi's place as Africa's Silicon Savannah. Your Excellency, you've raised the brand of Kenya. You've raised, the attention on Nairobi. I was with you in New York, and I saw the attention of the world. Thank you for being our chief marketing officer as Nairobi and as Kenya. And really, we must thank Ambassador Meg. I have never seen an envoy who believes in her station the way you do. You've gone out there, you've sold this place. We will do our part. Downstairs, I asked Amazon Web Services, what can I do as your governor to make Nairobi more comfortable for you? They said they're already comfortable. But I'll try and do a bit more. AWS is not new to me, Your Excellency. In March this year, Nairobi City County signed a partnership with AWS. My chief officer for Smart Nairobi is here, Tyrus, and he's been leading that together with AWS. Tyrus Njoroge, thank you. It's a beneficial partnership that we have seen, that's seen the county receive 6 months worth of AWS cloud credits. We have leverage on this platform for various projects, including we host our liquor licensing system on this platform currently, and we intend to do much more. Through AWS, we've also co-created a citizen engagement and disaster reporting application, semana047.nairobi.go.ke, which we will launch very soon this month, because it is going to, we leverage on this platform as part of our El Nino preparedness, so people can report incidences and can get responses immediately from the county. Our efforts towards creating a city of order, dignity, hope, and opportunity for all will be realized by largely through exploiting data for decision making. As Nairobi City County moves towards reinventing its operations with data in the quest to create a comprehensive and inclusive smart city, we invite AWS to work with us to realize this. Your Excellency, I'm not wearing 2 watches because I'm flashy. I'm flashy, but not because of wearing 2 watches. This watch here is our Tap to Eat school feeding application. All our children in Nairobi are wearing this watch. We're using technology. We know how many children are eating every day, the quantity of food they're taking, the consent, and we can tell that they've paid through technology, and we want to use more of this technology in partnership with AWS. We believe that our partnership will help us achieve these ambitions. We don't take it for granted that you chose Nairobi. You could have chosen any other part of the continent. Thank you for being in Nairobi. We look forward to many more years of partnership with you, AWS, in supporting the county, local businesses, and creating job opportunities. Your Excellency, as I go to conclude, a few years ago when I was a senator for Nairobi, I had visited Silicon Savannah, Palo Alto, and I was giving a speech at the Institute for the Future. And somebody there asked me, how is it that we're seeing so much innovation coming out of Kenya and out of Nairobi? And I told them, the world today is a small global village. Our young people in Nairobi are not competing with people in Machakos. The technology, the tools that are available are the same. So while they might be innovating there for luxury and for shopping, we're innovating to connect families to water. We're innovating to, cash transfer. We're innovating to really, because necessity is the mother of invention. And that is why Kenya can now compete at a global scale. As we think about our education, and I'm glad you've spoken about the TVETs, etc., let us remember, those young people in Kisumu are not being trained to compete with young people in Nairobi, but with young people in Japan, with young people in Germany. We must give them those tools in their hands. And so in the Senate, I sat down, I looked for Twiga, I looked for Celilant, I looked for Sendi, I looked for these startups that were scaling. Twiga was, I think would have been our first unicorn in Kenya. And I asked them, what is it that government could do for you differently years before for you to get to where you are? And we came up with a startup bill. Your Excellency, the startup bill that time, provided for de-risking of some of these investments. The national government or the county cannot invest in these companies, but we need to de-risk the venture capitalists. Kaufman Fellows were here just a few weeks ago, and they met you, and many other such fellowships of venture capitalists. Unfortunately, the bill didn't go through because of time, but I'm very happy that through your CS Chelugui, we've sat down again, we've rejected that bill. It's unfortunate that when we did the bill, part of those in my team were from Nigeria. They took the bill in Nigeria, they passed it. So Nigeria has a startup act drafted by the governor of Nairobi. And Nairobi does not have a startup legislation, because we can really, really incentivize rapidly scalable companies, create a virtual special economic zone. Your Excellency, not all of these will need to come to one place, but you can have a virtual SEZ wherever they are, in their bedrooms, in their houses, and give them those incentives to grow, they will be able to create employment. Of course, we continue to support e-commerce. Your Excellency, you have supported us. We now have our physical addressing and street naming system in Nairobi for e-commerce, for deliveries to be done properly. Finally, I love Amazon. One of the books that I've given every of my executives is a book called Working Backwards. It was written by Colin Breyer and Bill Carr. It talks about the leadership principles and mechanisms that made Amazon scale. Your Excellency, I'll give you a copy. If you look at, not because you need it, you're doing really well, but it's interesting to see how that the company grew, from a small operation to the biggest one of the biggest companies in the world by just 14 leadership principles and their mechanisms, the cadences, the kind of meetings they have. And their first principle is 100% obsession with the customer. That is what we're doing in Nairobi. We're saying we must have 100% obsession with the customer, who is the person, the people of Nairobi, the Mwananchi. I'm sure it's a book you'll enjoy because I know you really like reading and you read very quickly. So I'll bring it to you this evening because I also need to see you again. Your Excellency, with those many remarks, Karibuni Nairobi, Amazon. We have a beautiful space. I love how you've done the office. The furniture is local. You're setting a great example for us, just really leveraging on what Kenya has to provide. Anything you ever require, I am right across the door. I'm available for you. Thank you, Excellency. Your Excellency, allow me to invite PS, our ICT, who will also recognize the other officers from the national government. Anybody from the county government, please stand up. You had not recognized you. We have the Deputy Governor, Njoroge Mushiri. Your Excellency, Njoroge Mushiri was a Chief Technology Officer, Operating Officer at ABSA. So he's leading us in technology and ako top kabisa. We have Tyrus Njoroge, ICT, Chief Officer for Smart Nairobi. We have a department called Smart Nairobi. We want this to be a smart city. We have Director in the Office of the Deputy Governor, and Priscilla Mahinda, Chief Officer, Office of the Governor. Thank you very much. Karibu PS.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto, the Governor of Nairobi, Governor Sakaja, Ambassador Whitman, my colleague PS Abubakar, and CEO's President, the Amazon team led by Robin. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, this is a very special moment for us. First, for me as an engineer, Amazon Web Services opening a development center extends the opportunities for engineering students, for engineering professionals in this country. You've heard some of the engineers working here are those who have served in Safaricom. That means it's opening the next level of opportunities for our technical people from our universities. Your Excellency, we really want to thank you for the focus and attention you have given this sector. It's the digital economy that will open more opportunities for our country. It's the opportunity that will enable us increase our GDP. Globally, digital economy is increasing the growth of GDP because digital economy is growing by 2.5% in terms of growth. Your Excellency, also Amazon opening office here is also opening an interesting opportunity because cloud computing is one of the areas where quality jobs are available for our young people in this country, and we are able to serve globally from here in our country. Your Excellency, you made a commitment to them and you enabled us to remove the condition which required them to have 30% local shareholding, and they have kept one part of their bargain. There is still one more part which they need to do, which is to have a presence here in the country. They have committed us, they are working on it, and hopefully we will see some of their cloud infrastructure taking advantage more of our digital, our tech talent, young people here, and also our renewable energy resources here in the country. That's an open opportunity. Your Excellency, we're impressed to hear today they already have a good number of young engineers already working here, and they have also open opportunities to add more. They've assured us in the next few years we'll have thousands of young engineers working here at Nairobi, but serving the global market. Your Excellency, we are very excited to see the growth of this sector. And on the behalf of our CS, Eliud Awalo, who is on another assignment you sent, we are very excited to support the entire digital and technology community from global who are resident here in Kenya, and equally we are able to support our tech talent, our engineers, and also the young tech companies that are rising here in Kenya in the Silicon Savannah, and we'll be congregating, Your Excellency, to see how also they can take opportunities of platforms like what Amazon Web Services are providing, and also how they can grow, and to see in the future companies who call Kenya home and also being celebrated globally. It's now my pleasure to invite His Excellency the President to give his remarks. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, PS. Thank you. Please, let's take our seats. Asante sana. Our friend, Ambassador Whitman, fellow leaders, engineers, good morning. I think the presentation that was made here just concluded the meeting. That when I committed to Njiru and the AWS friends in Kenya, that we would do our part as government to make it possible for companies that want to set up in Kenya not to be disadvantaged by policy, and that we are going to align policy with the requirements of industry. It was very clear to me then that as we do our part as government, we would expect partners like AWS to do theirs. I'm very happy that AWS have kept their part of the bargain. And that's why this launch of the Amazon Web Services Development Center is a very important event for several reasons. First, Amazon has chosen Kenya as the base from which to extend its global and African footprint, which affirms our country as an attractive global investment destination, recognizes our progress in consolidating Kenya's global and continental leadership in the field of information and communication technology, and endorses our national digital transformation agenda. The second is that Amazon clearly recognizes the opportunities that abound at the intersection of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda and its fundamental enabler, technology in general, and digital information and communication technology in particular. Thirdly, this event makes it clear that Amazon has a strong interest in bringing opportunities of job creation and skills development in highly productive and competitive emerging fields within the reach of many Kenyans, and in fact, right here in Kenya. Listening to Felix, who was working out in South Africa, finding an opportunity to do this at home was very heartwarming. And congratulations, AWS, for making it possible for Felix to explore his calling and his talents right at home here in Kenya. Listening to Ms. Makoha from Safaricom gives me the impression and the inspiration that indeed we have a great opportunity ahead of us working with companies like Amazon. Kenya has emerged as one of the most exciting frontiers of global tech competitiveness, with high revolutionary potential across all sectors. It makes tremendous sense for a leading player in the global technology space to secure its presence in this market by significantly enhancing its visibility and presence. At the same time, I must recognize as a starting point that this move by Amazon will make Kenya the second African hub from which its teams will be developing solutions for partners throughout the world, and from where it will support all its customers spread across the globe. The center will therefore necessarily entail the creation of numerous new, highly skilled jobs in various critical areas, including software development, cloud support, telecommunication, and software engineering. Africa is rapidly emerging as a tremendous single market of over 1.4 billion people and the next frontier of global industrial revolution. With a median age of 19 and with their education, skills, and enterprising spirit, young Africans are prepared to power unprecedented global growth, which, with the right investment like Amazon's, will take advantage of our continent's natural resource wealth and green energy potential to lead the world in greening opportunities, growth, and prosperity, and thus guarantee a sustainable future for both us and humanity. It is therefore a good idea to be here in Africa as this new era of global transformation unfolds. Even better, it is exciting to be in Kenya, the geostrategic gateway to East Africa, the Horn of Africa, Great Lakes and Central Africa region, as well as the continent of Africa. And this is because it will optimize your footprint and make it possible for you to tap into the great talent that I was very happy that Satish speaks very candidly about the Kenyan talent that I have always explained to the people of our great nation, that our human capital is the greatest resource that we have as a country. It is the reason why we continue to spend on our education to sharpen our human capital. This year, we are spending the largest budget ever in the history of Kenya on education. Close to $5 billion we're investing in education. Just to make sure that we get the base right. Our primary students will benefit from an extra 56,000 teachers that we've hired so that we get the base right. We've also changed our model of delivery of funding for both our TVETs and our universities so that we can target specific students, make sure that we give affirmative action for courses that will give us the best human capital that can serve our country and serve the global market. And that is the finesse of the Kenyan human capital. And it is the very reason that we continue as an administration to focus very keenly on delivering quality education and making it possible for every student from every background to get an equal chance at being their best by making sure that we make the whole education infrastructure democratic and make it possible for many of our students to get quality education. It is the reason why we have doubled our budget both for TVET education and for university education. And we will continue, I want to commit that we will continue to invest in our human capital so that companies like Amazon can continue to get the best. Kenya is also gateway to 6 global fiber optic lines and has taken off as a vibrant pioneering epicenter of African research and development, technology and innovation, and as was said very ably, the Silicon Savannah. Earlier this year, during the American Chamber of Commerce event in Nairobi that was being referred to by Mr. Njiru there, I made a strong win-win case for American firms to choose Kenya in their own best strategic and business interests and in the interest of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, citing the policy and institutional arrangements that we have laid down to make it possible, easy, and advantageous to choose Kenya. I reiterated this message a few days ago when I joined the Kenya Investment Roadshow in Silicon Valley in San Francisco. I also held discussions with AWS executives in New York at the Kenya mission to the United Nations, where we agreed on sustaining the development of a conducive business environment for them to expand their investment in Kenya. I hope we make another deal again today. And I will keep my path. And as was said by my good friend from Safaricom, your presence now as a company in Nairobi is the next step. Tell me what you want me to do, and I promise you I will. So that I affirm my commitment to follow through with the undertakings I gave and to go further and take measures necessary to ensure that the policy framework on which the digital technology ecosystem stands is a tide that lifts all boats, local as well as international. In our engagement, the urgent imperative to create employment and training opportunities in Kenya through this investment emerged as the foremost shared priority in line with the digital superhighway and creative economy pillar of our plan. Accordingly, the potential is immense. Amazon Web Services is not just about mere presence in the regional market. It is intentional about elevating its corporate citizenship credentials through its support for robust framework to anchor optimal interactions between government, clients, startups, and other partners. For example, through its infrastructures, first, AWS, Edge Location, and then AWS Local Zones, and later AWS Outposts, Amazon has ensured that users, both in metropolitan areas as well as those further afield, experience connectivity with maximum efficiency and minimum delay. And I must congratulate Amazon for this achievement. This commitment to the infrastructures of connectivity has proved critical, not only because Amazon is undertaking transformational interventions in the fields of health, education, and training, as well as digital jobs and self-employment opportunities, but it is also committed to do so in a very inclusive manner that leaves no one behind. By collaborating with various government ministries, AWS has been able to deliver unique and game-changing solutions in various sectors. Let me give you an example. With the Ministries of ICT and Health, it developed and hosted a cloud-based data application, the Center for Epidemiology Modeling and Analysis, which used data to contain the spread of COVID-19 in Kenya. Together with universities and technical vocational education training institutions, AWS has been able to implement free, ready-to-teach cloud computing curriculums to enable students prepare for required AWS certification and jobs that are in demand throughout the industry. And I encourage you to work, as I told Njiru earlier, that because we have, by your own admission, some of the best human capital anywhere in the world, the best way we can make this human capital available, both to the tech community, locally and globally, is to work with us in the training, to refine our human talent, in making sure that we get certification. And we will do our part as government to make sure that we channel more STEM students into our TVETs and into our universities so that we can leverage on the training that you provide in the training and the partnership that you have with our universities to get many more engineers. I'm very proud that the first 50 engineers will be hired by AWS in Kenya, and we are looking at the days when we will have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 engineers here in Kenya. Similarly, Njiru told me earlier, the AWS Restart, a 12-week program to prepare unemployed or underemployed people for careers in cloud computing, has partnered with Ajira, eMobilis, and Get Innotized to empower hundreds of young people across Kenya, including those living in the refugee camps, I was told, both in Dadaab and in Kakuma. So congratulations again for looking out for people who ordinarily are excluded, especially the children who are in our refugee camps. In the fields of health, I must recognize the unique and transformational pathway made possible by AWS. An Amazon client has piloted its health application locally by leveraging AWS cloud credits in order to provide text-based follow-up support for cancer patients by connecting oncologists at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu in a partnership with the county government of Kisumu that now serves over 5,000 patients. This would not have been possible. Just the sheer level of infrastructure required to deliver this would not have been possible without cloud computing and without Amazon. So again, you are making us proud. And this partnership is not just exemplary, it is transformative. And we want to work together on more. Throughout Kenya, every sector, community, and all levels of government, the transformative potential of digital technology has been experienced by ordinary people, thanks to the possibilities unlocked through AWS in developing solutions and bringing opportunities closer. This is the promise we wish to nurture here and share throughout the continent, because research, development, and innovation, as well as a digital technology, hold the key to the future of African socio-economic transformation and job creation initiatives. The most salient feature of true digital transformation is that it is inclusive and creates inclusivity. We are committed to ensuring that no one, not a single person, is left behind in our march towards Kenya's digital future. Our decision to digitize all government services is informed by the need to make them easily accessible at minimum or no cost to all Kenyans who have a cell phone. This is also why we are also rolling out 100,000 kilometers of last-mile fiber optic connectivity, establishing digital hubs in every ward, and providing free Wi-Fi at every center throughout Kenya. And we are looking at 25,000 centers around the country to provide free Wi-Fi. It is also why we are promoting the local assembly of smartphone, which with collaboration and strategic partnerships powered by transformative facilities like AWS Development Center, will be powered by locally developed, responsive, efficient, and effective applications and other software. The case for a green industrial revolution powered by African potential is much stronger today because of the promise of digital transformation and the opportunities that come with it. As the gateway to the continent and the home of Silicon Savannah, Kenya stands in a position of digital leadership, firmly anchored on the infrastructure provided for such visionary companies, including Amazon. Today, with the launch of the Development Center, we take yet another major step into a future that is rapidly and positively transforming every day. It is time to be part of that transformation. And I'm very proud of the engineers that I met earlier and that are in this room. You guys are great. And you are an inspiration to many more Kenyans out there, many more young Kenyans in college, in our TVETs and in our schools who are looking forward to what technology can do, what the digital space can offer. It is the reason why we are banking heavily on the footprint of technology across the country, the digital hubs that we want in every ward, so that we can, just like you, as you develop solutions, we can use those solutions to create jobs for many more young people to work. And we are focusing on the digital infrastructure that we are rolling out in our shopping centers, in our ICT infrastructure that we are putting in our wards, to make sure that young people across Kenya have access to infrastructure that will give them digital jobs, so that we can continue to deploy the best human capital, the best human labor to serve not just our country, not just our continent, but the globe at large. Ladies and gentlemen, the Amazon Web Services Development Center, I declare, is now officially open. Thank you very much. And congratulations, Amazon. Pongezi. Thank you very much. Asante.
And that is the book that the governor promised, in the spirit of making sure every promise is kept.
Thank you very much, Governor Sakaja, for giving me this book, Working Backwards, Looking Forwards. And just to, maybe I will say to what Governor Sakaja asked, what he can do better. Maybe I could help by saying that these great people could benefit a lot from our affordable housing program, to make sure that each and every one of them can have a residence that they own. And our plan is to have at least 150,000 new housing units in the city of Nairobi, so that we can better house the citizens of this great city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. And before we conclude, I seek your indulgence. I request a photograph with the leadership of AWS. And at this point, I would like to call Satish to maybe